Hey, what if getting insurance is scary? What if the jargon makes me feel alone and in the dark?
At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Great.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
October in the Bluegrass. It conjures up visions of thundering horses and their riders. Catcalls, screams, and cheers pierce the night at Kroger Field. Madness reigns not only at midnight, but all month long. Tonight, the Big Boo faithful gather to celebrate a newer tradition. It's the third edition of Kentucky Softball's Big Blue Boo.
Welcome into John Kropp Stadium on the campus of the University of Kentucky. It's been kind of stormy today. It's certainly dark right now. But man, is the joint jumping outside as the Cats take on Miami University in their final softball game of the season. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Baker alongside the great Jenny Dalton-Hill. Jenny, there is a lot that's going on outside, and we'll get to that in just a bit. But the final fall game for Kentucky, and it's a postseason kind of matchup.
Well, these two teams square off every postseason, and so there's a lot more on the line knowing that Kentucky lost to Miami last year in regionals. So there's a little bit of grudge match going on for UK.
Listen, with your history in this game and what Rachel Lawson has done here, you guys are resolute in growing the game. And so that's kind of what she's done here tonight with this third edition of Big Boo Madness. Is that what we're calling it? I'm close.
Big Blue Boo.
Big Blue Boo.
And it's a huge festival.
It really is. I mean, like I said before, if Yogi Bear was here, we could call it Big Blue Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo. But, I mean, there are so many kids and their families down there. It really looks, I mean, look at that. That is just precious right there. And those kids are going to grow up. They're going to have a great experience here. They may not all be players, right? But they're going to become fans, and that's what you want to do and connect them with this great game and the great people that are involved in it.
Most definitely, and that's what Coach Rachel Lawson says. She's trying to create an identity for softball, and that's really what she does, connect back to the community while also playing really good softball.
Oh, my gosh, and two great caliber teams here as the Cats get set to take on the Red Hawks. We're coming back. We've got all the festivities, and we've got the starting lineups and the first pitch right after this.
Price to pay. California on my license plate. Last year they ain't even put me on some. Put me on some. Put me on some.
Having some fun now, man.
Welcome back into John Kropp Stadium. You know, it's rained a little bit, but I think that's one of those spooky Halloween sort of effects our guys did on the cameras, right?
I mean, there's a lot of special effects going on tonight.
They're a great crowd here tonight for a really different kind of softball broadcast as we get set for this special night, not only for these two programs, but certainly for all these fans that are here.
Well, and I got here a little bit early, Dave, because I wanted to see what this festival was
you thought
all
there
about.
were going to be candy.
Well, there's always candy. It's Halloween. But I got here a little bit early and give you a little bit of a rundown for those of you that weren't able to make it and you have to watch from home. It's a pretty spooky night here in Lexington, but I'm so excited to go through all the booths here at Big Blue Boo. Come on.
Do not get any bigger. All right.
It's under Leanne. Ellie.
Well, we found some fans in red and black. I don't know if they're allowed inside Kentucky's gates as fans, but what has been your favorite tent here tonight?
Probably like the one with, I don't know, this one right here because I love getting my face painted.
Okay, so what are you going to get?
I think I'm going to get like a softball with flames on it and like my number.
Very cool. Well, and you've already been face painted. Go ahead and show the crowd. Oh, that is such a cool pumpkin. How did you decide on the pumpkin?
It just stood out to me in the photo, so I just decided to choose that.
Well, I think it looks amazing on you. You're pulling it off without any flaws. Nice job. I mean, it looks like you've done a lot of the events out here. What's your favorite station so far?
Probably the water pick one.
The water pick one. Will you show us how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
He's looking for 1, 8, 14, or 16.
There we go! There you go. All right.
Well, I think you guys are winning for the best costume out here at Big Blue Boo. Souvenir for the day to make sure that you have something to remember Big Blue Boo.
You mean our call times were just different? You didn't
Correct.
say I was going to be late, did you?
No, I did not say late.
No. I love that.
Pretty fun.
This is so cool. and I just think it's a great idea. The marketing department, Rachel, whoever it was that came up with this. I mean, this is great stuff. And you can see that everybody's into it.
Definitely. The field is decorated as well as the fans in the stands.
Oh, no. And it's just started raining. We're coming back to John Kropp Stadium. Boo! Right after this.
Got a price to pay. California on my license plate. Last year they ain't even put me on some. Put me on some. Put me on some.
We're having some fun now, man.
Oh, that is kind of scary. What is that?
I was told it was going to be a pretty tame night, but that's kind of spooky.
Right? As you see the Wildcats being introduced, as we mentioned, it's been kind of rainy here for the last couple of days, and it's really been kind of dry ever since about midday. And then just as we came on the air, the showers, as you can see, have begun to fall as the Wildcats are set to take the field against the Red Hawks of Miami. And this isn't like just some scrimmage, Jen. I mean, this was the team that knocked Kentucky out of the NCAA tournament a year ago.
Yeah, and that's definitely where Rachel Lawson's head is at when she came into this lineup or this game tonight. Kieran Kumar, the head coach for Miami, said, I'm not going to scout Kentucky at all. We're going to come in and just play it as a true fall game. But Rachel Lawson has a debt to pay across the field.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup and the order that Alexa Lakatena will take a look at. Cummins, Blaska, Spade, Bewick, Chloe Parks, and Kobayashi. Golombuski, I thought I was right. Reagan Bartholomew and Maddie Banks for head coach Kieran Kumar. And what stands out to you about this Miami lineup, Jen?
Well, and the thing that's crazy about this Miami lineup is they returned 7 of their 8 top hitters. And so Lakatena out there in the circle is going to have her hands full with so many home runs, lots of power, lots of speed in this lineup returning for Miami.
Rachel Lawson was looking to get Lakatena some work last weekend up at Notre Dame, but then they had some problems with the weather. So she was awfully keen on making sure she could get her in the circle tonight.
Yeah, and Lakatena doesn't really have a lot of new pitches this year, but she's improved her changeup and played in the Italian Pro League this summer to try to get herself some more game time experience and really hone in on that drop curve rise and changeup combination that she's got.
No doubt you have seen the field, and there you see the Kentucky catcher, Carissa Hamilton.
And it's hard to look at
Right?
behind the dish and not see Kayla Kowalik. She's in the dugout as a graduate assistant on staff with Kentucky, but it is the first time we are seeing back behind the dish without Kowalik.
And that's one of the questions Rachel Lawson is really looking to get answered here in the fall.
Yeah, she has 3 players vying for that position. So far, no one really taking the reins. So this is a great opportunity for these players to step up, stand out, and try to earn a starting spot in the spring.
So you can see all that is going on as Allie Cummins from right there in Westchester, Ohio, which is right in the backyard of Oxford, where Miami is located. Stands in to take the first pitch from Lacatena, and it's inside. Oh, it's called strike.
Really good start for Lacatena. And that's one of the things that I'm concerned about with Lacatena. She fills the zone consistently with strikes. I really need her to move the ball through the zone, not necessarily to the glove. I want to see a little bit more movement.
Count evened at 1-1. That one fouled into the Miami bullpen.
Well, the crazy part about this lineup for Miami is there's so many returning players that they look very similar to last year's lineup. Allie Cummins at the top, a grad student this year, led the team in walks, had a big power, though, with 17 home runs, too, sitting here at the top.
That one pops straight back. Hamilton locates it. Hauls it in for out number one. And you talked about all the returnees for Miami. What that also means is returning production.
Right. 7 of their top 8 hitters returned. 6 hitters hit over 300 last year. They only lost 21 of their team 97 home runs and only lost 1 of their 73 stolen bases. So not only did they return power, but they returned speed, and that's dangerous.
And that ball is inside to the first baseman, Holly Blaska. Nice pitch with some get up on it from Lacatena.
Well, you know this is a bat that Kentucky is going to attack. Blaska had 2 home runs in the win over UK. So this is a bat that they know has a ton of power. She had 11 home runs last year, and she will be the starting first baseman. There are no backups for her.
The miss just downstairs.
And when you talk about postseason power, not only did she have 2 home runs in the win over Kentucky, but she had 6 home runs in the postseason. So a ton of power in the second spot for Miami.
And one pitch is an off speed. Catches the top of the zone.
And that's the pitch that Lacatena has been working on. Coach Lawson said that is an improved pitch for her this year. She will use it a bunch. Sometimes pitchers throw their other stuff to get to their changeup. I can see Lacatena throwing backwards and starting with that changeup to a lot of batters. When we talk about the power returning for Miami, they did hit 97 home runs as a team last year. But when you talk to head coach Kiran Kumar of Miami, she talks about how home runs are not the goal. They're actually trying to lead the league in doubles, and that's what Blaska did for this team. She hit 17 doubles last year.
And that one is swung through. First strikeout for Lacatena. And quickly 2 up and 2 down for the Red Hawks.
2 outs, shortstop number 7, Carly Spade.
And there you see the Kentucky defense. Nicely done by the UK turf crew as well. Put in a lot of work on this field. Does that look good or what?
They take a ton of pride in this field, and that ghost was up, I think, on Tuesday of this week, and then the rest of it came to fruition just yesterday.
And that pitch is a swinging strike. To Carly Spade, the senior out of Chicago. Popped up, and it'll be back into the seats.
Well, another thing that they're doing here tonight, there are so many promotions going on throughout the game. The carnival atmosphere does not stop, but you'll see bingo cards in the hands of the fans in the stands, and they are going to be playing bingo all night for some of the things going on the field. Pretty cool stuff.
Boy, and there's a late ring up. But second straight strikeout, nothing going for the Red Hawks in the first. The Cats come to bat in the first at Big Blue Boo. Bottom of the first. And different people have different ways of doing things, so why not put your best hitter right at the top of the lineup? Koffel, Nesby, Smith, Lorson, Hamilton, Harrison, Lacatena, Margaret Tobias, and Jenna Blanton, the right fielder. And what a season it was for Erin Koffel. What a summer it's been for her.
Yeah, when you've got a hitter like Erin Koffel in your lineup, you want to give her as many at-bats as possible. So putting her at the top, such a great idea. She is chasing the career home run record of Abby Cheek, sitting just 6 home runs away to tie.
And after that second pitch and fouled it off from the right-handed starter Madeline Reeves, a freshman who Kiran Kumar is getting a look at here in this game action.
Well, and the crazy thing about Miami, while they return so many offensive players, they don't return any pitchers to the circle. So it's really a test this fall to see who can settle in quickly. She went to the transfer portal, getting Ashley Hitchcock from Rutgers and Addie Jarvis from Illinois. But Maddie Reeves steps in, a young freshman trying to make a name for herself.
I mean, wouldn't you think you would send Ashley Hitchcock out there on a night where it's Big Blue Boo, right?
I mean, it would make sense.
I mean, right? I'm just saying. 54 degrees right now, and that wind, as it does at John Crop Stadium, is blowing straight out, which Koffel loves as she fouls that one just into the Red Hawk bullpen.
Well, and the cool thing about Erin Koffel is just being able to watch the progression of the young, early Erin Koffel, who started at shortstop but came in more as just an all-around defender, and watching her mature into being an all-American shortstop, changing her arm slot, throwing on the run, arm velocity improved.
Jammed her on the wrist, though, and that's a fly out to the third baseman, Bewick, for out number 1.
Yeah, expect big things out of Erin Koffel this year. Everybody's going to be gunning for her, but she is so well tuned for the pressure that this season will bring.
And with 1 out, in steps the slapper, Vanessa Nesby.
Well, Nesby's seen time at the top of the lineup, at the bottom of the lineup, and now this year hitting behind Koffel. That's a big chore because you need to have a hitter behind Koffel that can protect her. So is Nesby going to be able to solidify this spot for the season? A lot of things change from fall to spring, but if you can step in right now and be dynamic against a Miami team that kicked you out of the postseason,
right,
it'll really help solidify things for Coach Lawson as she starts making lineups in her head heading into the spring.
0-2 stays outside. I want to make sure I get that right. Sammy Bewick.
Bewick.
Bewick?
Bewick.
Bewick. Down there at third. Nesby trying to go that way.
Well, you mentioned Bewick over there at third. She's a young freshman that Coach Kumar says she's trying to test tonight against Kentucky, knowing that Nesby has some short game and likes to put the ball in play without a ton of power. Really bodes well knowing that there's 2 strikes on her. She's not going to have to crash hard on this one, but just sit back, make a nice throw across the diamond.
And instead, Nesby goes back up the middle and gets the first hit of the game.
Well, if you've got a bingo card at home, I know that they have them in the stands, but a nice spooky single.
Is that what it is?
I think that was one of them. Or it was a skeleton single. Yeah, I didn't get a card up in the booth. I wanted to play along because if you get bingo, there's prizes all night long.
You didn't have a hand in doing all this?
No, Rachel Lawson is the queen of holidays.
I think Halloween might be her favorite with all of her cats. I'm not talking about her players either. Shortens up to bunt. Does Riley Smith.
Well, and Riley Smith is one of those players for Kentucky that has a lot of different tools in her tool belt. She can swing away for power. We've seen her hit the long ball, but she also has great wheels, can just tap and go and move runners. So really good spot for her in the 3-hole.
Rachel Lawson was talking about how well she has hit during this fall.
Yeah, she's led the offense this fall. Very coachable, a great teammate, and in her 5th year, very calm, cool, and collected as she steps into the box. We've seen a young Riley Smith kind of panic in certain situations,
right,
but now able to just calm down and do her thing.
Nesby getting a pretty good jump over there. Now she goes as Bartholomew couldn't hold on to the ball. That's a pass ball.
Well, that was just a great read by Nesby. The ball in the dirt. She took a great lead, but then noticing the ball in the dirt, took off on a delay steal. Got in there pretty nice.
So Nesby with the first hit of the game, and the pass ball gets her into scoring position. And the Red Hawks want to talk about it in this first inning situation.
Well, and Coach Courtney Vierstra is out in the circle, the pitching coach for Miami in her 2nd season this year. She graduated from Miami in 2022 and then led the Red Hawks over Kentucky last year in the postseason for that win. But they're trying out something new this year, Dave. Electronic communication is now legal in Division I softball, and so they are using electronic communication from the dugout to the pitchers. But one of the cool things about this pitcher and catcher battery is they call their own game, and so they were going to kind of see if they could call pitches from the circle rather than from the dugout. And in the fall, it's kind of no holds barred, right? You can do a little bit of everything to see where things are working. But I like the fact that Kumar is allowing her pitcher and catcher to call their own game, and in the fall is a great time to test that out.
Here you see Kieran Kumar. And that ball's fouled off. So take me through this now. Is the call coming from the catcher or the pitcher?
Well, when we talked to Coach Kumar during the week, she said that the call was going to come from the pitcher. But I do not see that communication device with the pitcher.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I didn't.
Well, in season, it's not legal for that device to be in the pitcher or catcher's hands. That device should be in the dugout.
That ball ground back up the middle. That's a base hit. Nesby will come home with a first run, and the Wildcats take a 1-0 lead.
So get out those bingo cards. Not only is it another single for Kentucky, but also the first run of the game here at Big Blue Boo. And to be able to start things off like this for Kentucky is such a great momentum builder for them, knowing that they had something to prove against this Miami team. Riley Smith had been fouling off balls. Nesby does not hesitate around third. A nice, easy stand-up run as the ball sits in the outfield. Nice job by Smith.
Back-to-back base hits, and now Smith at first. And that's a first pitch called strike to the third baseman, Grace Lorson. Okay, so it looks like, Jenny, those devices are on the back of the gloves. As we take a look at Bartholomew, the catcher, you see it right there.
Yeah, that's where they read it. So that's where the number should be coming in from. But right now,
doesn't look like she's using it.
No, they are calling this game on their own, but I don't see where the signals are being transmitted.
And then the pitcher, Reeves, has the same sort of device. You see that there on the back of her glove. Great shot by our crew.
Yeah, get used to it, because that's what you're going to see in season. And so it looks like she's reading that call.
So then the question is, so does the catcher have, or does she have to reach across the glove to make the call?
Well, what happens is the device has to be in the dugout. I don't believe the device can be on the field. The call should be coming from the dugout. It's a type in by the coach. She's reading it and then delivering.
And so it looks like they're just dots, right? So your standard one fastball, two is Smith takes off and she gets in there with a stolen base.
I'm loving the speed of Kentucky. You do not think of speed typically for Kentucky. You have your token base stealers in the lineup, but Rachel Lawson has put speed at the top, and they are taking advantage.
Boy, and that ball is hit a ton, and it's just foul. Wow, did she get a lot of that ball.
When we talked to Coach Lawson about Grace Lorsung before this game, she talked about how this year she is so impressed with not just how emotionally strong she has stepped in this year, but just improved body control, a stronger arm, better feet defensively, but really settling in nicely offensively with the bat.
Just in these first few minutes here, she takes that one low for a walk. I can see a real physical difference, not only in Lorsung, but in Koffel as well. I don't know if that's fair or not, and I mean for the good. I mean, it's just they look like they have just flat gotten after it in the offseason.
Well, when you think about it, it can't just be a fall focus. It has to be a year-round focus. And Koffel, playing on Team USA, was playing in Japan, is scheduled to travel to Chile. And now Lorsung, knowing this is her last season of playing, obviously taking the summer very seriously to get herself ready for the year.
So Nesby at second, Lorsung at first. And here's the catcher, Carissa Hamilton. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get down a rabbit hole about that pitch calling earlier, but
no, I think it's important.
I think I'm kind of fascinated as to how it works.
I'm sure every team is going to use it a little bit differently. Knowing that the armband was taking so much time, I'm hoping this speeds up the game. For softball to continue to be a popular sport on TV, we really need to get it down to a 2-hour window. And the wristband was taking a really long time, eating up a chunk of time that we just don't have to spare.
That ball has popped up and she just got under it. Spade, the left fielder, gets it in foul territory. Smith tags coming into third. And the throw was there in time. But Smith got in there. She's safe at third. Lorsung moves up to second. 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, and the way that ball was played out in left field, Banks took a wide turn to it. It was a foul ball, but then had to retreat to catch that ball. And because of that, Riley Smith able to use her wheels to get into third.
And so with 2 outs, Miko Harrison takes a first pitch strike.
Another thing that Rachel Lawson said that they've been working on this fall is in-bat adjustments to make sure that they are able to transition and make changes pitch to pitch to be more effective in their at-bats this season.
And I'm so old, I thought it was moving up or back in the box, and both of you all gently said no.
That's part of it. It can be, but typically you make that change before you get to the box. If it's a pitcher that has a really good pitch that you're trying to take advantage of, you can make that move forward or back.
Hot shot to the second baseman, Parks. And the inning is over, but not before the Cats jump out to a 1-0 lead on a couple of base hits. We go to the top of inning number 2.
Price to pay. California on my license plate. Last year, they ain't even put me on some. Put me on some. Put me on some.
We're having some fun now, man.
Okay, the Big Blue Boo. These are the current Cats in costumes, right?
Well, current Cats from a long time ago.
Right. But I have no idea who that would be. Do we find out as we show these pictures?
Oh, man, you just got to guess?
Wow.
That
is adorable. Is that Lorsung?
That looks like Grace, I think.
Wow.
Oh, that's precious.
Hallie Mitchell.
Little piggy.
Oh, my goodness. And I think that's great that we got those pictures.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy. I'm sure that was a
We'll tell them that every one of those pictures was supplied by their parents.
You know it had to have been.
Sure it did.
Gotta love it.
Or their roommates. They wouldn't have given it up themselves. Lacatena in her second inning of work falls behind in the count. 2-0. That's going to be trouble. And Koffel can't flip it. That was just one of those ones that a cue ball that had base hit written all over it.
Yeah, a lot of English off the bat. Not a lot to charge with, so she didn't have anything off. Oh, now there is a star in the making. Borzilleri, nice. Little Tinkerbell.
She knows it, too. I mean, you notice the little hand behind the ear?
It looks like there's a Peter Pan down below, too.
Right.
Oh, Jessie.
Wow.
Jessie from Toy Story.
I saw that, who was it? Scratch was dressed up.
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear tonight.
That's right.
Always a popular, can't go wrong.
To infinity.
And beyond. Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate.
And I like the way that she came back with a strike to start off this at bat, knowing she fell behind 2-0 in the last batter.
So Buick down at first base. Parks back to Lacatena. They'll try to turn two. Koffel couldn't get it done, but that's about as good as you could do it without getting the double play.
Well, and the thing that impresses me there is the power of Koffel's arm on that turn. Not only did she have a quick release, but it came out with a lot of juice. So improved velocity on that throw, nice arm angle to come away with a quick throw over to first. That's about as good as you can turn it.
Kate Kobayashi hit well down the right field line and over in foul ground. That ball fielded by Jenna Blanton. Buick able to tag and go to second. And there are two outs.
And that was a tough ball. Not only is it wet out here tonight, but she was able to track that ball so well off the bat. The outfield is one of the spots, or is the spot that has the most movement for this Kentucky lineup. So Coach Lawson says there is not a solidified outfield crew. So that catch right there, she made it look easy, but that is a tough one to go back on a right-handed batter.
You know, I thought that comment was interesting because all these young ladies were out there last year, right? And they've all got a lot of different experience. I think maybe she has more versatility there than she does other places. Right back it goes to Blanton. And despite the infield hit, nothing going for the Redhawks. When we come back, Wildcat head coach Rachel Lawson at Big Blue Boo. Nothing like a good tricycle race on a Big Boo night, right?
Yeah, Anderson came away with a come-from-behind win over Mila. Their legs started wearing out about center field.
I'm going to guess Mila's not going to be happy about this. Hey, here on Big Blue Boo, there's UK head coach Rachel. Oh, I just now saw the visor, a custom visor
you
tonight.
Like that? Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Love the visor. Coach, did you do that yourself?
Oh, no. Coach makes me look so good. I can't stand it.
Oh, my gosh. Your
you
player.
should see the shoes.
Let's
the shoes
see.
are
Let's
really cool.
pan them down.
Oh, yeah. The shoes are very cool.
Oh, let's
Let's
see.
see.
We're getting a look at them right now. Oh, my God.
Wait, turn to the side. Let's see this.
They've
Here,
got,
show them
they've
off.
got spider webs. Look at that.
Spider webs, ghosts.
Yeah, you like that?
You're
That's
down
got a ghost there.
Just for from the HR department, making sure everything's okay. You're standing. You're standing in the gap in the dugout again, and balls have had a tendency to find you, right?
It's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Rachel.
I'll live.
Stop. Way back in the day, Joe B. Hall, who coached this team at basketball to the 1978 national championship, started he started Midnight Madness here for basketball to improve and get closer to the fans. Boy, and that'll get closer to the fans. That ball is back to the track and gone. See, there you go. That's all we need is a little interaction. Lacatena in the circle. And she goes deep to put the Cats on top 2-0. with a leadoff homer here in the bottom of the second.
Coach, I don't know if you could have planned this one any better, but Lacatena in the circle trying to develop or establish herself as your ace, then hits a jack? Are you kidding me?
I know, right? How cool is this?
It's really good.
And you can tell my team has no idea what's going on. They're like mauling me over here.
Right. So anyway, my point, Rachel, is the Joe B thing was to get people more involved in a program. This is crazy, the number of families and people that are here tonight.
Yeah, if people would have seen what was going on outside of the stadium, it was amazing.
Well, and you've created such an amazing family atmosphere here for softball and the UK community. When it comes to this event, 2 years ago you had Tennessee come in and you had no event workers and it was a madhouse. They realized quickly that you had created something special. What is it that you want to create just with this event moving forward?
Well, at first, I just wanted to do something for the athletics department. But now, I'm like, why not open it for the BBN? But now that I have the weight of the whole athletic department behind me, it's just an awesome experience.
It is a great experience, but you're probably still doing everything, right? You did the bingo cards.
No, I did not. UK sports marketing was very awesome in what they were doing. I mean, look at what the grounds crew has done.
They're incredible.
They're amazing. The operations is amazing. Just all the way around, it's very cool.
Well, and how long ago did you start planning this event? This is not something that came up last week.
Well, my staff always gives me a hard time because my brain never stops.
Right.
So if I'm on a plane going somewhere, I'll just have a thought go in my head and I write it down. So nothing ever stops with me. During season, I'm focused just on softball. But, there's a lot of time in the day.
Okay, so this is a great event. Don't get me, this is a wonderful event. But you bring in a team that knocked you out of the NCAA tournament. It becomes a little more competitive when that happens.
Well, it does, but Sports Video told me if they were going to film this game, I had to bring in a good team.
Wow.
And who is more evil than the team that knocks you out of the NCAA tournament?
There you go.
Yeah, they're a great team. They're coached well. They're phenomenal athletes. They're old. And just to have my team in this environment before we start the SEC play means a lot to us because this is what they will remember going into the winter before we hit the field in February.
Well, and it's really one of those momentum builders, right? Knowing that the fans have turned out for you. But with this group, what has been the off-season focus and what's the goal here tonight?
Well, we've been grinding around for 14 years. We've been straight, right. Something like that. But our deal is we want to be in the World Series 10 out of 14 years or whatever it is. You don't set a goal like that, meaning you want to be every year. So we're trying to just amp everything up, be very competitive at going for an SEC championship, Oklahoma City, that sort of thing. So you need to create an environment like this so you can get ready for the big end.
And Rachel, part of that, too, is what you do off the field now and what you have to do to stay competitive. And I know you just kicked off a new program called Designated Player.
Yeah, that's our Friends Club. And really, what I want to do is not only do you have the people who are supporting the program. Oh, that's amazing.
Right.
Did you guys see that?
Yes. Nothing like plucking a ghost out of the air.
But also, people want to have an inside view, so nothing is better than a Friends Club. So we want to make sure we amp it up, we treat them with respect, and then we'll get the returns of that as well.
Well, and you had a young athlete with you going through the booths tonight, and was that part of that initiative?
That was part of the NIL initiative. So we did a couple of experience around the booth just to see what it was like.
Absolutely outstanding. So, Rachel, I guess while we're still going here in the bottom of the second with UK head coach Rachel Lawson, kind of your 30,000-foot view of what you've seen from your team here in the fall.
Well, I love our pitching staff. We're very deep. We have a lot of power. We can spin the ball. So we just got to make sure we can command our stuff. And then offensively, we're still trying to find quality successor. That's not an easy chore, but we're going to be working hard at that. And then we want more power. So our short gamers have really amped it up. And then we got some really, really strong freshmen that you're about to see.
Well, and you've got a new addition to your coaching staff, too, with Grace Ballman joining the crew. And that has actually made some transitions in your pitch calling in the dugout. Talk us through that.
Yeah, now Grace is doing all the pitch calling tonight. I'll call for Schoonover, but Ballman calls for everybody else. And both of us are tag team in the pitching staff, but she's been with me for 7 years now?
Right.
So, she's brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to watching her career.
This is the first time I've gotten to see you guys live, and you're talking about getting bigger and stronger. I just commented on the air a little while ago. I see a real physical difference, at least just initially, with both Lorsing and with Koffel.
Yes. Well, they work incredibly hard, 12 months out of the year. We got some trouble. Should I go out and yell? What should I do?
Well,
Coach, I have a headset. Do I take it off, run out there, come do my thing, or what do I do?
They called a hit batsman, so I think Kumar was just out there checking on it.
I will tell you, Erin is loving this because I give her a hard time for not taking the hit by hitch often. She's already done it twice this fall.
That's awesome. Well, we did talk to Coach Kumar, and she said that you two got in a little bit of a shouting match.
Talked about your warm relationship.
Yeah. I have a ton of respect for her, but we probably could be in a fist fight. It would be okay. I mean, she would do it too. Absolutely.
We did tell her that she could come up and scare you from behind, but luckily you still have eyes on her, so you know that she's across the diamond, right?
Oh, yeah. She'll cut my hamstrings if I'm not looking. So I got to make sure. Just kidding.
This is a turn I didn't think this was going to take.
We're all right. She's an exceptional coach. That's why her team is so good.
And then you guys are, because of your geographic proximity, if you're looking at the postseason, you're probably going to be seeing each other in the postseason.
Yeah, we've seen each other a lot lately, and, it's big rivalries. They have a great team. We're 2.5 rows up the road.
Yep.
So.
Well, and what's it been like with Kowalik not behind the dish and in the dugout? That's a much different look for this team.
Well, Kowalik is brilliant, and she's in my ear all the time. So I prefer her on the field.
No doubt.
Question.
But the thing that's unique about her position now as a grad assistant, she doesn't get to coach the players, which is difficult. So she does sit with you a lot, right?
Yeah, she makes sure it coaches me. She coaches me so I can coach them. And I better do what she says or I'm in big trouble.
Wow, how do you do that with her and with Cervantes?
It's tough. I'll tell you, it is very, very tough.
Nesby fouls another one off.
Well, and I think you probably need to give a little bit of a nod to the Boo crew that was kind of behind the scenes. So who is that Boo crew and what have they done?
Oh, wow. Well, we got student athletes who are volunteering. We have the operation crew, which I think there's about 20 of them right now. You got the whole grounds crew. I mean, there's probably 30 or 40 people watching this game. Uh-oh.
That ball down to the third baseman as Nesby tried to go the opposite way. Blanton was forced out.
Way to start with skill.
And there are now 2 outs in the inning. And here comes Riley Smith. And we also were talking earlier, you talked about how well Riley has hit the ball this fall.
Yeah. She's leading our team right now. And she's doing a lot of things. She's hitting it far. She's doing the short game. She's protecting Erin. She's doing a great job.
Swings through that first off-speed pitch.
Well, and to find someone to hit behind Koffel, that's going to be the challenge for you this year. Where do you see that heading?
Oh, I think we have a lot of options. Larson's doing a great job. Hamilton's doing a great job. You got Riley Smith. And then we have a ton of freshmen who are exceptional. So I feel really good about being able to protect Erin in the lineup.
I'm excited to see the youngins once you get them out here in a little bit. What is it about that group as a whole that you like?
Oh, there's so much to like about them. They're tremendous athletes. They're great softball players from elite travel ball teams. 5 out of the 7 are from Kentucky. That's really cool. And the 2 that aren't are country strong. So I love them. I think they're great.
Well, and you always know you have a tough SEC schedule. You've got some difficult games at home and always difficult games on the road. But when it comes to preparing for the SEC, what are you trying to do?
You got to build a deep pitching staff, especially in today's day and age with scouting, technology. I mean, those pitching machines, you can just put their exact spin rates and everything in them. You got to make sure you get different looks.
Well, and we've talked about how power has not always been a strong suit for Kentucky, but you really worked on run production a couple of years ago, and that's done well for you. What's the focus offensively for you this year through the lineup?
Well, definitely run production. It's always that. We want to be really diverse because when you're playing elite pitchers, you're not going to be able to hit home runs at will. So you got to make sure you can score in many ways.
2-2 pitch. Got her on the wrists, and that'll do it. Cats get another on the home run. Rachel, thanks so much. Congratulations on putting this darn thing together. What a great night. And
I appreciate it. Thanks. You.
All right, take care. That's Rachel Lawson, her team on top of Miami, 2-0. So there you see, we talk about the transfer portal so much and the difference everything makes. Addie Jarvis coming in from Illinois. Ashley Hitchcock coming in for Miami.
Well, one of the connections between Ashley Hitchcock and the Kentucky lineup, Hitchcock, a transfer coming over from Rutgers, as well as Jaden Vickers on Kentucky's lineup, who transferred from Rutgers as well. So a little connection between these two teams through Rutgers.
And so new pitcher in the circle for the Wildcats, Sydney Langdon, who we have heard so much about, comes in and she can really bring it, Jenny.
Yeah, I am excited to see the evolution of Sydney Langdon. A ton of power, is commanding the zone better this fall, according to Rachel Lawson. She comes in with a curve, a rise, and a really good changeup. And to have that changeup in your back pocket to throw in SEC play, that's going to be important for her to develop and command.
Reagan Bartholomew behind in the count 1-2. Wildcats got one in the bottom of the first on a Riley Smith single to score Vanessa Nesby. And then Alexa Lacatena leads off in the second to make it 2-0 as Bartholomew goes down on strikes.
And that was just a fastball down Main Street. She just didn't get the bat off the shoulder. Really nice placement down in the zone, but a good start for the freshman.
And in steps Maddie Banks. Banks, another one of those freshmen. And as we continue along, here in the third inning, there's Ashley Hitchcock, who joins us, Ohio native who came back home from Rutgers. Ashley, what's it been like for you being back in your home state?
It's honestly great. I really love it. My family's able to watch me play a lot more, and I'm just back in my home state.
Well, and it's so hard to transfer at times, not knowing if you're going to fit in. And Coach Kumar said you just fit in so quickly. What was that transition like, though, for you?
For me, it was super easy. I came in here, and this culture is so great. And I love everyone on the team, and the coaching staff just makes it even better.
Now, I believe, am I right about this? You were up there at Rutgers with Jaden Vickers, right?
Yes, I was.
So talk about that whole chemistry, and there's a picture of you guys at the game.
Yes, me and Jaden have been best friends ever since we stepped on campus, and I just feel like we really pushed each other there, and now I'm supporting her from between the lines.
So, Ashley, tell us a little bit about this team in the fall and what you have seen from this squad to this point in the season.
I see that we have a great culture and everyone has the winning mindset, and I know that we're going to go far, and I'm really excited for what this year has.
Well, and it can be intimidating knowing it's your last season of playing. Do you feel the pressure of having this be it, or are you just playing free knowing that you're seasoned?
I have a little pressure, but I'm trying to be relaxed and have fun, and the girls do a really good job to help me be relaxed.
Riley Smith going out of bounds there into the foul territory to get that ball off the bat of Maddie Banks for the second out of the inning.
Well, and Ashley, knowing that there's no returning pitchers on this staff, what's it been like having just a whole new breed of pitchers in that bullpen every day?
Actually, I was pretty nervous coming in here, but then it was really nice to see Addie Jarvez transfer as well, just because we've been playing against each other for 4 years. And then Maddie's also great asset for this pitching staff. So I think we all work very great together.
Well, and how are you trying to kind of leave a legacy, knowing you've just got 1 year to do it, but a young freshman on staff to impact?
I think that I'm just trying to make a big impact for this team and take us past regionals.
Ashley, thank you so much for taking some time with us. Best of luck tonight. Best of luck for the season that's coming up. We appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. That's Ashley Hitchcock, who's joining us from over in the Red Hawks dugout as Ellie Cummins swings through the 1-1 pitch. And now Langdon. Pretty good first inning of work for the Kentucky freshman as the Red Hawks go in order. When we come back, we'll hear from Miami coach Kiran Kumar. That's coming up as we roll along from Big Blue Boo. Dave Baker, Jenny Hill back here in Lexington as Kentucky leads the Miami Red Hawks 2-0. Coach Kiran Kumar joining us from down in the dugout. Coach, I mean, I know you like to get good competition, you know, during the fall, but I mean, the team you knocked out of the NCAA tournament, here you are.
Yeah. You know, after we keep facing them in the regular season, so when they called to ask, I was like, for sure.
Well, and that couldn't have been a real happy phone call, knowing that Rachel Lawson lost to you to end her season and then calling to say, hey, do you want to come play in the fall? What was that conversation like?
Well, I'm pretty sure she kind of cussed me out.
She would not.
You know, not at all. It wasn't just we ended her season. It was in a run rule.
Right.
So, but we have a very good relationship. We have respect for each other. So it was a no-brainer when she called me to come do this.
How do you feel about your team here in the fall overall as you come into this game?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I think it's, you know, we have a freshman making a play right there.
Yeah.
Nice job. We have a freshman in the circle. We have a new shortstop, a new catcher. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
Well, and we know that you brought back a ton of power and a ton of speed in this lineup, but it was the pitching circle that had some question marks for you, knowing you've got 3 new pitchers. What is that shaping up like for you?
Oh, it's been great. All of them are working hard, and they know that they don't want to be at peak right now. So that's kind of what we're starting at.
Coach, for the people that don't know, to be around that culture that is up at Miami. You know, they call it the cradle of coaches, and I know so many of them over the years, and it's in a lot of different sports. And so you're here in your 4th year, and now 3 straight MAC championships.
Yes. It starts with the young ladies. They're just phenomenal people off the field. Academics, it's incredible. And I think, though, they know what they're getting when they come here. Great academics and great softball. And this group, we have 8 seniors, so they've been sticking together.
Well, and when it comes to postseason play, you know you're going to end up playing a lot of tough teams in the postseason. Kentucky seems to be the one that you come against every single year. What is the talk? What was the talk coming into this game tonight?
A little bit was, we did not do any scouting or anything. We just were showing up, doing what we know how to do best. And the talk was, regardless if we play them at a regionals, if we play them at a community park, we want to beat them. So they know that. And I think they're a little hyped up right now, which is great. It's an awesome atmosphere.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. I think it's bigger than what we expected, which is phenomenal. Softball's growing.
Absolutely, and it's because of events like this. Coach, let me ask you one other question. I hadn't seen him before. Talk to me about the message that's on the front of your jersey and why you felt it was important enough to have it on the jersey.
Oh, love and honor.
Yes.
That's our core value of the whole university. And it's what we embody as a student body and not just as a softball program.
Awesome.
Well, and you trust this battery to be able to call their own game. That's unique in the country. What gives you that trust?
Well, in the fall, they're learning. So, not sure.
They haven't gotten all that trust yet?
Good.
There's a line drive to end the inning.
So, it's one of those, yeah.
Coach,
they're learning.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Great to visit with you.
Thank you.
Best of luck this year. Right. So, the Red Hawks, nothing in the third. Wildcats. Welcome back in here at, I keep wanting to call this something else, Big Blue Boo. Stephanie Simmons is here. Now, Steph, I'm going to get your title wrong. It's the Executive Associate of Student
Athlete Experience.
Yes. Well, I got like 75% of it.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean,
that's passing.
You've been involved with these games, and now tell me about what it is that you're doing and why you've made that transition.
Yeah, I started out as a strength and conditioning coach here.
I know that.
Yeah, I know the transition from being a strength and conditioning coach to being an administrator. And, it's interesting to see the transition of building people in the weight room and then building them for life. And it's been just a wonderful opportunity to basically keep my mission the same. So
I didn't ask this the other day, and I'm sorry for interrupting. Did you work for or with Mark when you were in the weight room?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Which one?
So I worked, I was the head of the Olympic department, and he was the head of football. So, yeah.
And you all agreed on everything, right?
Always. Every day, all the time.
I'm glad I can send him to work to get along with people then.
It's really good. It's really great. Yes.
That's awesome. No, my husband started as a strength coach here at the University of Kentucky before moving into administration, and now Stephanie Simmons able to do that same
It's been a very successful career path, it looks like.
But Mark's now giving us shoulders from the booth 2 doors over. He's not okay with any of this.
Well, we want to ask for you to give him an exit interview on his job, but tell me what you do now in this position.
Yeah. So I oversee our Student Athlete Experience Division, and that our mission in that space is building leaders of character, competence, and consequence for play and for life. And the character component, Mitch Barnhart had the great vision to build and bring inside an impact leadership program about 10 years ago. And I love his vision because some people will bring in speakers and those types of things.
Right.
And this is an inside-out approach, and for 10 years we've been building character and integrity with our student athletes.
Well, the hard part is for female athletes, there's not really a pro component to push us into for every Olympic sport. And so that transition can be very difficult for some of those athletes. What have you been able to implement to help those athletes?
Yeah, so we have all of our student athletes, we say inside of the character component I just explained, and then there's the competence component, which is our academic unit, and then the student athlete development unit is our consequence component. And so we've been measuring now for a couple of years how our athletes launch. And some of them, all of our student athletes go pro career, pro student, or pro athlete. And so we actually, just this past year, we were able to capture from an initial launch data that we collected about 47% of our student athletes are pro student. They launched pro student, which not surprising that because of COVID, right? You get the extra years and the certifications and those types of things. And then we went about a fourth with pro student, pro career and pro athlete. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of see that matriculate and move through for all of our students.
And talking about that, as Taylor Hess, the lefty, is in there now for Kentucky. I know this was in process before COVID, but once COVID hit, and there are so many needs when you talk about a student athlete experience that maybe we all knew they were there before, but they just really kind of manifested themselves during COVID. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think some of things kind of bubbled to the surface, but, I'm really proud to be at a university that, you see these articles come out where you have to, the transformation committee put forth, you have to do financial education, you have to provide mental health. And,
right.
And I'm proud to be at a place that we've always had that. And so it's been a lot of fun to be able to use all those resources and really kind of move those forward in this way where we're really changing lives as we go.
Well, and you've been a pretty important arm of the softball program, though, too, knowing that you've been on the selection committee for the postseason. What was that like sitting in that room? Is it pressure filled? What goes into those meetings?
Yeah, yes, I would say there's pressure involved. I think there's external pressure, but I think anybody who is a high performer puts a lot of internal pressure on yourself, and knowing that you're representing a sport that is so incredible. And, I really took that personally and really took a big responsibility in understanding, the sport of softball has grown. It's so incredible. It's so fun, and just really being really directed in trying to get the best field out on the field.
Well, and being a part of that committee, it also allows you to go to Oklahoma City and enjoy that experience as well. What's the environment like at OKC?
Well, I had an opportunity as a strength and conditioning coach when I was at the at UCLA, and I went there as a coach many, many years ago. I was 02, 03-ish, and then now seeing how much support has been given and how that stadium has grown in the upper deck and the fields and all the equipment, and it's just been wonderful. So, I've seen it come from, transition over 20, 30 years. And again, the sport is just growing and it's incredible. So very blessed to be there.
Stephanie Simmons is the Executive Associate for Athlete Experience, Student Athlete Experience at the University of Kentucky. Stephanie, the one thing I always, and this was one of the very first conversations that I had with Mitch when he got here. I mean, there were people that were coaching here that worked full-time, that didn't have benefits. And now, you see obviously the people in the major sports and what they do, and you hear about those contracts and everything. But there are so many student athletes, not just the people we see on the field, managers, trainers, people in the. How many total athletes approximately does that encompass here at the university?
Yeah, I think we have over the span of our department. Oh, great catch in the field. Over the span of our department, we have about 600 student athletes.
Wow.
So, I would say at least a 1-to-1, if not a 2-to-1 in terms of support, whether that's an intern level or a GA level or a student level, all the way to a full-time level.
And then as you look at the mission of the university overall, as the state's flagship university, some of these folks are going out. They're making it as a pro. They're going to be able to come back and write a check. But so many of these student athletes are going back home to their communities or making this their home and giving back to kids in this state, which matches up perfectly with the mission of the school.
Yeah, and I've been listening to Dr. Capilouto as he's kind of being external with some of his messaging, and I love how he says we're developing people for lives of meaning and purpose.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, that's exactly what our mission is in Student Athlete Experience. We've kind of branded that as the Kentucky Road. We know that all of our student athletes have different paces that they're driving, but there are different entries and different exits to that. But at the end of the day, we are constantly revealing resources and building bridges to developmental opportunities for them. And, ultimately that nests inside of Mitch's 5 core principles of knowledge, character, stewardship, integrity,
right,
and winning. And, it just all nests inside of itself. And this idea of the Kentucky Road and who we are, I love the idea that we are the journey, but the University of Kentucky is basically the street lights that light the way for us.
Awesome.
It's really well, and you have 2 young daughters who have been able to grow up around strong, confident intelligent, independent women, and how has that changed their outlook on their future?
Yeah, I gotta say, that's an unintended consequence. Honestly, I mean, it was not anything I ever planned for, but it's one of those things where I'm very blessed to have my daughters in a space where they are around strong, smart, capable women, and they don't even know that not going to college is an option. It's not something that they even consider.
Right.
They're like, I'm going to college here, and I'm like, good for you. That's wonderful, and incredible role models.
That ball shot down to first, and that ends the inning. Stephanie, thank you so much for spending time. I know this isn't like your favorite thing, but this was really, really good. Thank you so much. And thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. You guys have been wonderful. I'm done sweating now. Good work.
Back in a minute. What would a Big Blue Boo be without a broom race, right?
Yeah. Let him ride. we saw the Miami team warming up with what looked to be broomsticks before the game.
No kidding. And so here we go. And we're back at it. This has been a nice outing for Madeline Reeves. She gave up those 2 first-inning singles, and then she gave up the bomb to Lacatena. And, I mean, other than that, she's pitched really well.
Well, and Coach has left her in there for quite a long time. Lawson's made a ton of changes, but Reeves is holding her own in the circle.
Absolutely. And just when we get a chance here in a second, we're going to give you the exclusive reveal of Kentucky's early season schedule.
Remember, in Lacatena's last at bat, she hit the big jack with Coach Lawson on the headset.
So I guess she goes back into the DP thing, right?
Correct. She's in the DP role now with a different pitcher in the circle with Taylor Hess out there, but she fouled the ball off into her foot, and that can make that plant foot so hard to land on, and that's the one that you have to have a solid front side to create a ton of whip through the bat.
So Reeves in 3 innings has given up 3 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. Only walked 2, hit a batter, and does not have a strikeout. Lacatena with a grounder to third. Handled there by Buick for out number 1. And so, Jenny, let's take a look at this schedule and tell me what you see.
Well, and the impressive one of this is the ESPN Tax Act Invitational. That's where you see so many teams that are World Series bound or coming off of World Series appearances. That'll be a true test in just the second weekend of the season. That one is fun to watch. You can catch all the action on the ESPN family of networks, both digital and linear, right there in the middle of February.
Chopper to the shortstop, had trouble getting it out of the glove. That was a little bobble on the part of Spade.
Well, and it's so important to have speed at the bottom of the lineup, and that's what Tobias offers down there after Lacatena showing a ton of power earlier in this game.
Carly Spade just couldn't get it out of her glove, and that was enough.
They're going to give it a single. Dave?
That is a base hit. That's right. I was just checking with Chris Scholes and his staff over my corner. So 4th hit of the game for the Wildcats. Only 1 hit for the Redhawks. And Blanton trying to move the runner, fouls it off. She's another player against certain pitchers that Rachel Lawson can count on out there in right field and in the batting lineup. Taylor Ebbs in that group as well.
Well, and Blanton's shown very well out there in right field defensively tonight. How do you solidify yourself in the lineup, though? It comes to the at-bats. If you hit, you will find a way to play. And so as Blanton is swinging at those pitches off the plate, she's got to find a way to just keep that
That ball is
fair. Oh, just foul. Just beyond the line.
Wow, they just called it foul. That was our home plate umpire, Shane Jackson, who came out of there. Christine Himes, who's down in the third base coaching box, certainly thought it was fair.
No, but that's a really good call.
That is a great call.
Was not tipped by the third baseman.
Just didn't make it over the bag.
Nope, eked its way foul just before the bag, so really good call.
And so now Blanton trying to protect.
Well, and the key to hitting an outside pitch is making sure that you get your glutes underneath you. You never want to stick your glutes out and throw the bat out and away. Not an effective swing on an outside pitch, and so much better approach on those last two pitches that are trying to stay on the outside corner.
Blanton fouls it away again. Good battle between her and the freshman, Madeline Reeves.
I really like this outing by Reeves in the circle. She's showing a lot of maturity, a lot of control, and good command of her pitches.
Got her on the off speed. Runner goes. And they avoid the strike him out, throw him out, as Tobias slides in with the steal.
And Tobias solidified herself over there at second base last year, and just showing why she's so important in the lineup to be able to have that speed that she's able to use to flip things over back to the top with power.
And back to the top of the Kentucky lineup, and Erin Koffel. Talked about her physical transformation with Rachel Lawson. You can just see it. And take a look at those career numbers.
Well, and Koffel sitting at those 55 home runs, the career mark of 61 by Abby Cheek, well within reach for Koffel, who has hit double-digit home runs in each of her first 3 seasons. Maybe the most impressive piece of Erin Koffel, though, is the fact that she's made the 16-player roster that will be playing in the 2023 Pan Am Games in Santiago, Chile, here next week, October 29th through November 4th.
I mean, she's made the team. I mean, it's not, and she's the only, am I right, the only current college player on that team.
Yeah, the only active collegiate player on that USA roster. There are, out of the 16 players named to that roster, 8 of them coming from the SEC. Some really big names that you'll know: Aaliyah Andrews from LSU, Mia Davidson from Mississippi State, Montana Fouts from Alabama, Savannah Jaquish from LSU,
Sure.
Aubrey Leach, Tennessee, Amanda Lorenz from Florida, and the ever-popular Haley McClenny from Alabama.
The ball was fouled off. And some of her teammates here at Kentucky have that sort of international experience as well.
Yeah, Kayla Kowalik was able to play on Team USA, so to have both of those. And Kowalik and Koffel, the only 2 players in UK history to be 2-time All-Americans,
Right.
able to play together last year.
Alexa Lacatena played for Italy, right?
She did. Alexia Lacatana played for Italy, and then Director of Operations Brittany Cervantes played for Team Mexico in that Tokyo Olympics.
She just played a little while ago. I mean, she's what, like 8 years out of here?
Yeah, but that shows you the kind of athletes that Rachel Lawson's bringing into this program. They keep themselves well-trained and tuned to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, and everyone excited as baseball and softball announced to be back in the Olympics in 2028.
Did you have a chance to do that?
I missed the last cut for the first Olympics in 1996.
How do you miss the last cut with the career you had?
Well, if you think about all the players that had stuck around, that was the very first time that softball was in the Olympics. So the wiggle room to make mistakes, minuscule. And
Jenny, I'm not just saying this because we're friends. You were one of the greatest hitters to ever play collegiate softball.
And I had a blast doing it. But with 1996, that was my senior year, and so I did not make the team. My roommate actually made the team.
Oh my gosh!
At Arizona.
What was that like?
Leah O'Brien Amico made that USA team, and then she went on to play in 2 more Olympics. So she has 3 gold medals, and it's just fun to watch it was so fun to watch the success they had, but Team USA has actually earned silver in the past 2 Olympics. So it's time to regain that top spot over Japan.
Did you ever think about, after your collegiate career was over, continuing to do this stuff and try to do it again in 4 years?
Yes, but the opportunities to play just weren't there after college like they are now. There's pro leagues, there's opportunities that give athletes chances to stay in shape and game ready. I went and actually played baseball, pro baseball, after my career at Arizona, and so that's where I've actually gravitated toward. I serve on the board of directors with USA Baseball and coach within the ranks
this
there
past
too.
Year.
I was named to the Hall of Excellence with Little League. I started my career in Little League, and it's just neat to see the opportunities these young ladies still have.
Harrison flies out to end the inning. And we go to the top of the 5th. The Wildcats still lead it 2-0. The joint is jumping here at John Kropp Stadium tonight on Big Blue Boo 2023. Wildcats with a 2-0 lead over the Miami Redhawks. And boy, this whole facility looks great, but especially this field. And you know, you've seen that sign before, right? That says nobody likes sad Panda. You never see Panda sad. This is Tyler Panda Jones from the grounds crew. Panda, you guys are out here at all hours working on this field, whether they're playing or not.
That's right. Yeah, we do what we can to provide a safe and competitive playing surface for these girls out here. We love it.
Well, not just safe and competitive. This thing is legit tonight. How long did it take you to make it look like this?
Oh, it's taken the work of a couple days, but with almost an inch of rain last night, we've done everything possible to keep these logos looking pretty, these lines sharp, and everything good and playable. So
did you just put the web down today after the rain? Was the field covered last night?
That's right. Yeah, it was covered all night. We got it off around 3 o'clock today after our last shower, except for the mist we had pregame. But yeah, and then after that, we were able to drag the infield, get it nice and loose again and smoothed out, and then we did spiderweb right on top of that. It's just conditioner, so it's just the same dirt that's already out there. It's just the dry stuff. So
wow.
It's neat.
So, Panda, for people that don't know, how many people make up your crew, and what kind of work goes into keeping this as one of the top surfaces in college softball?
Yeah, we got 5 full-time guys. We got Tommy Davis, 45-year veteran down at football. We got Josh Barnes, who's been here 23 years. James Nelson over at baseball. Myself here at soccer softball. And the boss man, Marcus Big Cuz Elswick. That combined with a team of about 14 students makes all this magic happen right here. We work a lot. Of course, it's seasonal. It slowed down a little bit for us in the wintertime, but no, we definitely got our work cut out for us trying to keep everything sharp and dialed in.
Well, and Coach Lawson cannot sing your praises loud enough. She constantly is talking about what a beautiful job you do out here on this field. But there's some upgrades coming to the field, we hear, with some padding and
practice area, right?
Yeah. So within the last year or so, we've got all brand new pads around the stadium. Used to be a blue, now it's this nice slate gray we got. Brand new turfed bullpens in both bullpens, as well as a brand new back infield area for us. So they can go live back there if they need to on some plastic in case it's a situation where this is tarped, kind of like it was last night. But no, a lot of new happening things over here. We love getting new stuff together for these girls. They deserve it.
Panda, how long did it take you to understand how Rachel exactly wanted the field, and how much has that changed? Because everybody's got their own thing. The thing I see is that thing is like a trampoline, because that ball is lifted to left for out number 1. It's like a trampoline there right in front of home plate for the slappers.
Sure, yeah, and it's never something you entirely understand. It's not like a uniform, one-size-fits-all kind of infield. A lot of times we're sometimes catering to our opponents or what the girls are feeling, depending on the season, because the season goes all the way from we're practicing in early January through, if we're lucky, May and June.
Right.
So, we do the best we can to keep the moisture level up, to keep it soft for the slappers, and firm for the infielders, and that grass nice and dry for our outfielders. So
what kind of hours do you put in the spring? Like, do you have a bed here at the field so you can catch some sleep?
It'd save me some time if I had a bed here, but it varies. But no, I mean, a lot of 60 to 70 hour weeks on game weeks, especially when we got midweeks and a series. But No, it's a great job. I love doing it. Being around the girls every day, and my guys in the shop. It's awesome. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I mean, you guys are truly part of the team. I've been able to see you all interact and everything, and it has to make those long days and short nights even more worthwhile.
Certainly, yeah. And, we work all week just to put on a game like this. So now is the time where we kind of get to sit back and relax, watch a little footing, eat a little food, and just have a good time. Watch this broadcast right here. You guys are awesome.
Panda, you guys have also got your own Twitter account, right?
We do,
Kentucky Sports Turf, is that right?
Kentucky Sports Turf, look us up. We are always
got some
action
I'm a follower,
on there.
yeah.
Yeah, we always got good stuff. See what we're doing at football, new turf at football. We got, baseball stadium, Kentucky Proud Park's always flying. James got that thing rolling.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, my final question is, please tell me you guys don't go out and cut grass on your own during the summer or anything, do you?
Well, I know a lot of us have our own homes. We got to take care of those too, little landscaping stuff. But beyond that, yeah, this takes up quite a bit of our time. So I try to stay away from my yard when possible.
Well, here's an opportunity to talk to the masses. Is there something that this field needs that you wish you had?
We got this. This is the oldest field, I think, in our athletic department as far as natural grass fields go. We have a native soil outfield. Pretty sweet if we could sand cap it and get some fresh sod on there or something. But no, tremendous facility. I got nothing to complain about. Every field's going to have its challenges. It's a constant battle to keep this thing green and sharp, but we do our best.
Hey, till the battle is won, right?
Till the battle is won. That's right. Just needs more around here.
Panda, you are the best. Thank you so much for taking time and being with us. I know you're going to catch a hard time when you get back to your guys.
Oh, I can handle it. No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Dave.
Nice
Thanks,
job.
buddy. See ya. Love what a great group of guys.
Well, and you always see them in the shed. They're always
Yes.
there. I have not been to an event where they have not beat me to it or stayed after me.
Absolutely.
And I come to so many of these Kentucky events.
Oh, sure.
But they work their tails off.
I hope people understand, as soon as this game is over, you won't be able to see it, but they're dragging the field. They're working on the outfield across the way over at the Bell Soccer Complex. As soon as a match is over, they're out there repairing divots. They're getting it ready for the next match. And so they've been getting this ready for tonight. Even though there's no football this weekend, they've got women's soccer on Sunday afternoon. And so it's a great group of individuals, and they're just the people that you don't see behind the scenes, which every great program has to have.
Well, and because you don't see them, you don't know they're there.
Yeah.
But the work that they put in makes every athletic complex here at Kentucky top-notch.
So there you see Golombuski. Did I get it right there?
It's pretty close.
Golombuski
There you go.
at first. And that ball is inside and nearly caught Bartholomew.
Well, and one of the things of Schoonover is she had an arm injury last year.
Yes,
and
she
so
did.
her settling in this fall to be able to feel confident in that arm, to be able to step into the circle and trust the mechanics that she's been able to develop and not worry about it hurting anymore, so important this fall.
So Bartholomew strikes out. Golombuski goes on her own. When we talked to Kieran Kumar earlier this week, she said she wasn't going to call anything. You see somebody running, they're going to be running on their own.
Yeah, she gave the whole team a green light.
Yep.
She said she wasn't going to be mad at them if they got thrown out. This was truly an opportunity for these players to test their skills against a new catcher for Kentucky, knowing that they wanted to take advantage of not having Kowalik behind the dish.
And so with 2 outs, here's Maddie Banks. And Jen, you were talking about that arm injury last year, if my memory serves me correct, which gets more and more questionable by the day. Wasn't she either 12-0 or 12-1 when she got shut down?
You know, I don't know what she was when she got shut down, but she ended the season 12-2. And
Yeah.
so able to step away with a pretty good win-loss record.
Able to field her position in the circle, and despite the runner, nothing across for the Red Hawks. The Wildcats come to bat in the home half of the second, leading 2-0. Addie Jarvis, the new pitcher for Miami, as the Red Hawks trail the Wildcats 2-0 here in the home half of the fifth.
Well, and Addie Jarvis, this is her third school. She started at Youngstown State, transferred over to Illinois, and now finds her way to Miami, a 24-year-old who able to take the circle, taking advantage of COVID, some transfers. She's a power pitcher thrown from the right side and is really digging in to what has made her successful in the past, trying to leave it all on the field, and this her last season.
Leading off to the bottom of the fifth for Kentucky, your left fielder, number 99, Emory Donaldson.
There's Emory Donaldson. And, you know, we've been talking Kayla Kowalik. Isn't it, how crazy is it to see somebody else in 99, right?
It just doesn't seem right.
Right.
But if there was one player to join this staff, to join this team, to fill it out, if that makes sense, Emory Donaldson would be the one that I think is going to do it well. She has the it factor, according to Coach Lawson.
Ball's fouled off. So close the book on Reeves, who had a really nice night for Miami. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, a strikeout, 1 hit by pitch. I thought she had really good command of her pitches and really good command of the situation tonight.
Well, and when you think about it, she only gave up the one big long ball to a hitter that you don't expect to go deep, right? Lacatena, typically a pitcher, not known to swing a big stick, so I think she probably let down her guard a little bit against that hitter, allowed it to go out of the yard, but settled in nicely.
And Donaldson comes in and gets a leadoff single to right. So we've talked a lot about the battles between Kentucky and Miami under Kieran Kumar.
Now batting for Kentucky.
11th meeting all time, and you see the Kentucky leads 8-2, but it's been much tighter here in recent years.
Well, and Miami University able to beat Kentucky in the regular season back in 2022. But then Kentucky taking advantage in the postseason and knocking them out. Then in 2023, Kentucky won in run rule fashion in the opener. But then Miami of Ohio able to come away with a run rule win over Kentucky.
What about that?
I mean, talk about just the dichotomy of those two games. A run rule by Kentucky to start it off and then sent home by Miami.
In a run rule.
And the thing is, they don't have Brianna Pratt. That was the pitcher in the circle for Miami that really handled Kentucky so well. This year, don't have her, and still trying to work with this new pitching staff. 3 pitchers on staff trying to gel together to be able to be as dominant as Pratt was a season ago.
And you know, as we look at Erica Thulin, Jenny, you've obviously been around this deal a lot longer than I have. That has popped up to the shortstop for out number 1. You know, you talked about pitchers like a Montana Fouts.
Right.
I mean, you used to be able to ride one pitcher a long, long way, right? But that's not the deal anymore.
No, not with the scouting and not with the ability to throw your pitching machine to the exact spin rate, the exact location, and kind of emulate what you're going to see in a weekend. It's almost impossible to throw one arm and make it last through an entire year and go deep into the postseason with the hope of winning a Women's College World Series national championship.
I did not think about that. So you can set that pitching, you know, obviously you can go clock somebody or something and see them, and then you can put those settings that specifically.
You can set spin rate, you can set spin angle. It's ridiculous the things that you can do with the technology these days, and because of all of that scouting that is available for these players, they can go in on their downtime, set the machine up to whatever they want. They don't need a coach around. They can just set it up and go to town and get themselves ready. And then if you think about it too, Dave, they also have all of the virtual reality things that they can watch a pitcher and see it in real time to be able to just practice and see it.
Please tell me we don't have AI yet, right?
Well, who knows, right? They probably do, and it's a secret. But it's amazing to watch the technology that these players have, and also the technology of the bats that have given such rebound and distance to the swings. If we had played with these bats, I don't know how many home runs I would have hit. I thought I hit a lot of home runs, but they're popping them up and they're just sailing.
Right.
When you talk to old school softball players, and I count myself there because I'm legitimately old, when you think about how far the ball travels off the new technology in these bats, it's absolutely ridiculous to watch the flight path of these balls.
Ella Emmert gets caught looking, and there's 2 outs. And Lauren Borzilleri, who steps in, another one of those players that Rachel Lawson is really high on. Borzilleri, a sophomore from King High School, as you see there in Riverside, California.
And just 16 at-bats last year, but Lawson expecting to see her play a really pivotal role in this team this year. She says she can play every infield spot and is a really good leader, but still a young sophomore trying to gain her footing and find a starting role. When we were talking before the game, my family and I, because we went through all the tents before it all happened, and we were saying, there's so many unique rules that you can do differently in the fall because it's not necessarily a traditional game. We said, what if they allowed, a caught foul ball by the stands to be an out like the Bananas? But that right there, great crowd.
How about that play down at third base? Wow, that is your basic dandy as the Wildcats continue to lead by 2 as we head to the 6th. There you see the Kentucky dugout, and Rachel Lawson just there on the left. As we mentioned, Grace Ballman's calling most of the pitches now, but she will call for Schoonover. So, Jen, take a look at this Kentucky SEC gauntlet. Is that a good way to refer to it?
Yeah, and it's crazy because you're at home, then on the road, and you just alternate all season long, and it is super regional type competition every single weekend. You get your rear end handed to you time and time again, and you've got to be able to be very resilient in a schedule like this, knowing that you finish up at Tennessee, a team that came in so hot last year with a ton of power and speed, good pitching for them. But every team across the SEC has new players coming in, a lot of transfers, a lot of freshmen, and so every team seems to have a pretty new look.
Stephanie Schoonover in her 2nd inning of work, facing Allie Cummings. I've tried to say Cummings like 14 times tonight, and it's Cummins. Must be these gremlins that are out here on Big Blue Boo Night.
I mean, it is Halloween, right?
At least tonight.
That's right. Are you dressing up this year?
No.
Oh, come on. Are you passing out candy?
Oh, I always do that.
Okay.
Always do that.
We live at the end of a cul-de-sac. Nobody comes down our street, so we're bah humbug at the end of the street.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
I
we
know.
really do.
I know some of the kids that hang out in that cul-de-sac. They're probably the only ones.
Yeah, we get them big candy bars, and that's about it.
Palm up. Yeah, that's what they do. Here's a look at Cummins' number from last season. And that's the kind of power that Kieran Kumar was talking about.
I mean, she led the MAC, and maybe more impressive is that walks number because you have to be so patient at the top of the lineup to be able to see pitches, allow your dugout to know what a pitcher is throwing. So a very patient but powerful hitter at the top.
Like I said, from right there in the backyard of Oxford, Ohio.
Well, I like that communication that she's giving back to the dugout.
Right.
It may not have gone well in her at-bat, but she's able to communicate now back to the next batter to be able to explain where Schoonover is throwing, knowing it's another new pitcher in the circle.
And here's Holly Blaska, who's fouled out to fair territory. Struck out in the 3rd. Got good connection on that, boy, and that fooled the left fielder. Took a couple of steps in to start. I don't know if she had gotten back to it or not. But Donaldson, who had the base hit last inning, and that ball just rocketed over her head by Blaska.
When you think about the kind of power that it takes to go the other way on a pitch down there, it looked like a half swing, but she connected in just the right way to get it over the head of the left fielder, Donaldson, out there and left.
Listen, she barreled it up, but I'm going to guess that that's one of those swings you were talking about with these bats.
Exactly.
I mean, that ball was on a line.
The amount of rebound that these bats have, that's why all the bat testing has to go in during SEC play, because you don't want a juiced bat coming in off the kind of speed these pitchers have.
I'm going to check that. But I believe, yes, that is just the second hit of the night for the Red Hawks. Spade was caught looking in the first.
You talk about the kind of power that these players bring back to the lineup, and you've got double-digit home runs from multiple players back to back. It's a ton of pressure on a pitcher in the circle.
Boy, that's a nice pitch to the outside part of the plate.
And that's what Schoonover needs to bring, is discipline on the corners and make sure that she's not throwing to a spot, but throwing through the zone. You want to make sure that those pitches continue to move and don't sit flat against powerful hitters like Miami has.
Schoonover looking to regain that form. It made her one of the best before the arm injury, and that one is skied up to Koffel for out number 2.
And there you see Reisner over there at short. She is the successor to Erin Koffel, so giving her a chance to get some Big Blue Boo competition under her belt, knowing that Koffel finishes out this season and she's going to have to take the reins next year.
Reisner, big rangy freshman from down in Harvest, Alabama.
When we talked to Coach Kumar of Miami, she talked about how she was not going to mess around with the lineup a whole lot tonight. But here, a new batter takes the box, and it's a batter that's not even listed on our lineup. So apologies to her family that we cannot give you her name, but she was not listed.
Carly Spade was listed in this spot.
Yep. But number 25 is not listed on our lineup.
No.
Secret weapon.
Such is the life of fall ball.
Right. Well, the power that Schoonover is throwing with right now bodes well for her development coming off of that injury. She is definitely trusting that arm, trusting her spin, using her legs well. It's always hard and scary to come off of an injury, to be able to trust that lever again. But so far, Schoonover looking really good, settled in nicely.
She continues to try to hit the inside part of the plate.
Well, an injury just messes with your confidence, and Schoonover has a full arsenal. She throws a curve, a screw, a rise, a drop, and a changeup. Lawson is calling pitches only for her.
Right.
She is the only pitcher on staff that Lawson continues to call the pitches of, knowing that Schoonover has been with her for so long and now in her senior year.
Went upstairs and got her. Base hit for Miami, but they can't do anything with it. We head to the home half of the 6th, and the Cats still lead 2-0. Kayla Kowalik coming up when we come right back. Back here at Big Blue Boo, Dave Baker, Jenny Dalton Hill, and the great Kayla Kowalik. I did a double take. I said it on the air. It was so kind of surreal seeing somebody else wearing 99. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Can't complain. I'm still around, so I'm really having the time of my life.
Well, if the players mess with you during this interview, what are you going to do?
Somebody just threw something at her.
Stuff at
well,
her.
I guess I'll make them run after this. I don't know.
Oh, I love that.
It is different to have this team not have you anchored back behind the plate. What's it been like making the transition from player now to coach? Well, not coach. Sorry, graduate assistant.
There you go. Well, it's definitely been a little bit weird. First day of practice the first week really was kind of rough, just seeing, all my friends, my old roommates and all that, just, balling out there, and I'm sitting, catching the bullpen, and I'm hanging out in the offices and not the team lounge anymore, but it's definitely fun. It's a good adjustment, and I'm having fun.
Well, and the cool thing about it, because you're a member of Team USA, you do get an opportunity to still practice with the players. You're not able to coach them, but what's it like to take the field with them and practice?
Oh, I definitely, it's definitely a different role, but I'm having fun. I hit with some of the girls and take some reps sometimes, and it's different, definitely, but, anything to keep playing softball and keep getting better.
It is different, Kayla, and while you can't actually coach, since you're down there in the cage with them and everything, and you've just come off the field here, I've got to believe you got some unique insight that you can take back to Rachel Lawson, which you're allowed to do.
Yeah, me and Coach Lawson are always hanging out. I think she's kind of regretting me staying because I always now I just sit in her office and bother her all the time. But sometimes it's a good bother and, helping her out with what we're doing and kind of what I'm saying.
Well, and how do you communicate those things, knowing that as a catcher you see the game through much different eyes and you've got pitchers who need information? What kinds of things are you able to tell Coach Lawson to help out the team?
Oh, it's just kind of honestly what I've been, having conversations with for, a couple years now. She trusts me and kind of what my insight is, and just, from a catching perspective, what I'm thinking about, what our hitters should be doing or what I'm seeing on my side as far as, creating a new backstop back there this year. So
that ball lifted left center, and Lookadoo in her first look gets the base hit. Now, Kayla, Rachel has said that she's okay with this, but with her not calling pitches, is she going through severe withdrawal?
I don't know so much withdrawal, but her and I sit on the same side of the dugout when she's not calling pitches, and it's kind of funny because we'll just sit there and banter back and forth, kind of like, what's going on? What are we doing? What is going on right now? So it's definitely kind of interesting. And then she'll switch gears when she's calling pitches for Steph.
Sure.
So she's really good at switching mindsets.
Well, it's kind of crazy, both of you going through very big transitions this year as she hands off the pitch calling to Grace Ballman and you making that transition to coach instead of player. But those conversations, do they ever get heated?
Not yet. Maybe that's something I should look forward to.
Wow.
But no, not yet.
Well, just knowing that you've got SEC play that gets really tough and really demanding. So there's going to be those opportunities for maybe not seeing eye to eye and trying to communicate different things to the players.
Honestly, I think that's when things get better, and that's when you kind of make adjustments and, you raise the bar is when you have maybe a little discrepancy or maybe a little argument, and
Sure.
You have to work it out. So honestly, maybe that's something I'm looking forward to because you're getting better.
Kayla, one thing I want to ask you about from your perspective, we were talking earlier about the fact that they're using whatever this electronic thing is to call pitches now. You like that or not?
I'm kind of old school. Maybe I'm just old now, but
Stop it. You don't know old.
no. People keep telling me that, but my
old
legs
is
say
up in the
different.
booth. Old is in the booth. Young is on the field. You're good.
My legs would beg to differ, but I kind of honestly I like it, and maybe in some of the higher intensity SEC games that I've played in my career where I can't hear Coach Lawson calling pitches,
right?
I would have probably liked that, but I think it's kind of cool.
So are you guys going to use it at all, or has that been determined yet or not?
I think I'm going to push for it. I'm
Do
going to
you?
make her get it.
Wow.
It looks fun.
Well, you're going to need to do it quick so that the pitchers have an opportunity to get used to it before they
We'll just throw them in. They'll be fine.
Now, is Coach still catching everybody in bullpens? Is that
yeah.
still? And what goes into that decision by Coach Lawson? Because you've been able to get some rest because other players catch bullpens.
Well, definitely. I mean, I think a bullpen is where a catcher is made, honestly, is, the hard reps and where people don't see you work and you're behind the field, not really getting a lot of action on the field. But I think the bullpen is where great catchers are made, just, sitting back there grinding, with your pitcher, with Coach Lawson. So I think she sees a lot of the hard work that our catchers put in, and they do put in a lot of hard work, and we're always cheering each other on in the bullpen. Even me not playing anymore, sitting there, great pick, good job. We're always rooting for each other.
Reisner gets a hold of one. That ball deep. And out of here! Rachel Lawson has talked about that freshman from Harvest, Alabama. And how about that Kentucky debut?
You gotta love seeing someone fill the shoes of Erin Koffel with a big swing just like Koffel. As Reisner sits in the wings waiting for opportunities to play, Kayla Kowalik cheering on the young freshman that's gonna have an opportunity to try to steal the show from Erin Koffel at short.
What a bomb.
Huge hit.
Good job, Cass.
Well, and Kayla, you've hit your fair share of home runs too. What did home runs feel like to you, knowing that you could drop a drag or slap? What was it like for you?
Honestly, I never really, when I hit home runs, I never knew they were going over until I was like sprinting past second base and everyone was just kind of looking around.
Just stop it.
No, I'm for real.
That is so wrong.
I didn't know they were going over, so I'm sprinting because I'm like, well, it looks bad if I jog. And then I'm like, where's the ball? I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll jog now. So I think I have the fastest home run jog in the country just because I'm sprinting the whole time.
Good point.
Did she not sound just like her head coach then?
Well,
I mean, honest to goodness. Same cadence. I mean, you guys have rubbed off on each other. 30,000-foot views. We've got another one of those freshmen who's up right now, Peyton Plotz, the freshman from here at Tate's Creek in Lexington. Your kind of 30,000-foot view of what you've seen from this team here in the fall.
Oh, I mean, our freshmen have come to ball, and I'm definitely their biggest fans. I'm rooting them on. I'm like, I'm not playing with you guys, but I think they're so funny because I don't get a lot of time around them, but when I do, I'm like, oh, you guys are kind of, really good. As a freshman, I didn't have any of my act together, and I'm like, some of you guys are figuring this out a lot quicker than I expected and a lot quicker than, I did. So I'm really excited to see the shoes that they fill and just how they ball in the spring.
Well, and how do you think USA Ball has changed your outlook on the game? Being able to play internationally, how did that impact you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it just opened my eyes to like a bunch of different ways of like playing softball and treating softball. You have so many mindsets that come together, not only on your own team, but internationally when you play other teams, and you're meeting, friends maybe from the NCAA or friends from the pros that play on other national teams, and it's really cool because you have so many insights into softball that there's not one way to play the game on any spectrum. So it's definitely it honestly is hurt your brain just a little bit because you're learning so much and taking stuff in from different coaches and different players, and it's really awesome. I couldn't speak more highly of it. Freshman
Peyton Plotz draws a walk, and Rachel Lawson is going to go to her bench again. Allie Hutchins from down in Paducah will step in. So, Kayla, you've got a twin sister, right? Am I right about that? What's she doing? Is she still playing or what?
She's not playing anymore. So she finished her 5th year when I did, and she got her master's in engineering, is now working a big girl job at an engineering firm outside of St. Louis. So she's definitely doing big girl things and making big girl money.
Well, and what is your family doing not traveling around with the two
for
of
the first time in forever, right?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm sure they're that's our back girl. Her name's Hadley. But I think they're kind of thankful for a little bit of peace and rest because, my parents traveled all over the country, honestly, since we were 10 years old.
Right.
And it didn't stop until this past, honestly, my dad was still traveling to watch me play this last summer, so maybe they don't get the break that they expected, but definitely taking into mind, they do miss seeing us play, but they're saving their money now.
It will be a much different spring for sure. Well, and when you play on Team USA, you've got great minds like Heather Tarr and Tony Baldwin, Cindy Ball-Malone, and Tim Walton, all on the national team coaching staff. What is it that they do differently that maybe you're now incorporating into your game?
Well, I think one thing that definitely sticks out last summer when I was playing with Coach Tar is we had played at the Canada Cup, and she kind of pulled me aside and was like, I wasn't doing well. And I was swinging away a lot, was not doing well. She kind of pulled me aside. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, stay behind the net. We don't need another Coach Lawson situation.
I thought you guys said she was rubbing off on me.
I think what happened was she would normally, put her hand up to catch the ball, but instead she put her hand up to her mouth because she wasn't sure what she was going to say.
She said, dang it.
No, I really did. But I think one thing, Coach Tar kind of pulled me aside last summer and was like, hey, it's like, you're here because you're you. Like, go out there, be Kayla Kowalik, be a hard out. And she's like, why are you hitting all the time? Like, you're a slapper, you're a triple threat, go do some stuff. So she treats her players really well, and she wants them to be them. So.
Kayla, thanks so much for spending time with us. Great
Have a great
seeing
night.
you. Wildcats get 2 more. They try to close it out in the 7th, leading by 4. Big Blue Boo, and what would that be like without a dance-off, right?
Well, it's the Big Blue Boogie, Dave.
Oh, it is?
I love the way that this game has gone tonight with so many of the minor league game feel.
Right?
In between inning competitions, t-shirt throw, bingo, face painting, so many things. The tricycles, the broom ride around the outfield, so many fun things on a really chilly night in Lexington.
And it's just so great to see all these people out here. This is a Friday night, believe it or not. This is the next to the last night of the regular season in high school football, which is so big around here, and just a great crowd, and there's still more activities after the game. And still more pitchers to see as Jaden Vickers, the fifth-year player from Crystal River, Florida, comes in to try to close things out tonight. In the 7th, rather, excuse me.
Well, and Jaden Vickers is a huge pickup for Kentucky, knowing that she's the transfer coming over from Rutgers, who throws with great control, has a rise, a screw, a curve, and off speed, but more importantly, she can hit for herself, which gives Rachel Lawson an opportunity to maybe hit for someone else defensively that might be struggling at times.
We talked to her teammate, Ashley Hitchcock from Miami, earlier in this contest. Vickers transferred here. Hitchcock transferred back to Miami in Oxford, Ohio. And Kentucky's hit a couple of bombs tonight, but this looks like this is going to be another really outstanding Miami team.
Well, and the thing that makes them so good is just the opportunity to have so many returners. But as Kentucky has developed their pitching circle, you can tell that they are going right at Miami, not afraid of the long ball that Miami has the potential to hit 1 through 9.
And listen, I know this is a fall game and all that sort of stuff, but at least for this sample size, it looks like this Kentucky rotation is greatly improved.
Well, and to be able to go against so many different pitchers, it's hard as a hitter to make transitions and make adjustments from at bat to at bat, facing a different arm every time, and then having to communicate that information back to the dugout time and time again. Kentucky has so many arms coming out of the circle, and I really like the way Jaden Vickers throws with power from the left side to give it a different look.
Kate Kobayashi takes it upstairs. I did not ask Rachel Lawson this, and I really appreciate your insight. So you're saying you think this could be like so many of the major league teams now who don't want somebody to go out there for 5 or 6 or 7 innings?
No, we've seen that transition, and it kind of started at Florida State with Lonnie Alameda, who she read an article about the Tampa Bay Rays, who didn't have a great pitching staff. And so they went back to an idea of using a pitching staff in full rather than a starter, a reliever, and a closer. She prepared her players to throw in any situation, and I can see our game trending toward that, knowing that a pitcher is going to be needed in multiple situations. So Vickers needs to be ready to start, but also be ready to close in another game. And so to be able to throw back-to-back days, the arm circle is a much easier motion on the body. So you can throw in back-to-back days with multiple pitches thrown. But it's going to be important for teams across the country to utilize their pitching staffs in much different ways to be successful.
Kobayashi stays alive and fouls that one off. Again, only 2 hits for Miami in this contest. Wildcats have only got 7, but 2 of them have been bombs.
Well, it was in that run rule game against Miami to end the season last year that Kentucky was only able to get 3 hits off of Brianna Pratt. So it looks as though the tables have turned, and Kentucky coming out with a little bit more force and something to prove tonight. But Kieran Kumar, the head coach for Miami, did tell us she did not scout Kentucky.
No.
She did not tell her players anything about this team, and she has not made any calls from the third base box. She is letting this team just play free tonight, swinging away, not a lot of short game, and every player has the green light to steal on their own. They just haven't had a ton of base runners to be able to use that green light opportunity.
That one stayed upstairs, and the count evens at 2-2.
Well, Parks is one of those players that in that final game against Kentucky had 2 home runs. And so for her to step into the box, it's definitely a challenge for the new pitcher, Vickers, in the circle to go at such a big hitter.
Count now full. Here's the pitch from Vickers.
So here's my question to you,
Yes.
Dave. We know that Vickers transferred over from Rutgers.
Yes.
Rutgers colors, not Kentucky colors. How long do you think it's going to take for Vickers to get rid of the red glove here in Big Blue Nation?
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It even has the R for Rutgers on it. My guess is if Mitch Barnhart's watching this, she's going to have a new glove by tomorrow. But he's come out and seen them. I've seen him at this field. So it does take time to break in a new glove, but the red on the field is a new look. I have never seen a red glove worn by a Kentucky player. And there's the R.
Well, that could be for Rawlings, right?
Good try. If we placed bets, I'm pretty positive that glove will not be red come season.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that.
No chance.
I mean, don't they order stuff like just at one time, right? Didn't I see something on, I don't do TikTok, but like Instagram or something the other day where the baseball team had their glove day?
Every team gets a glove day. It's like Christmas. Let's be honest. In the SEC, when you get gear, you don't just get a shirt. You get a closet full. I mean, it's amazing the amount of gear these players get. I'm pretty sure she's got a glove. It's just being broken in.
You know what's really interesting about how people do that? Kevin Stallings, who was a basketball coach down at Vandy, his son made it to the bigs with the Pirates for a while, and he was a catcher. And every catcher's mitt he ever had, his dad broke it in. And he was still working with him the whole time he was coaching at Vandy. And it's just, for anybody who's played the game, certainly at your level, there is that connection with that glove, more so than a bat.
Well, and it's a process to break in good leather. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes weeks to feel comfortable with a brand new glove. I played second base. I got a new glove my freshman year. It was broken in maybe by season, but it takes so long to feel comfortable when you've got new leather on that hand.
I have got, back when we were playing intramural softball in college.
Oh, high-level stuff.
I have still got the Rawlings glove that I used, and it is still functional.
You want to hear a really sad story?
What?
So my freshman year at the University of Arizona, I got a glove. We won a national championship with it. I put a ball in it, and I left it underneath where we kept equipment, over the summer. When I came back in the fall,
it was gone.
It was gone, and I didn't know where it was. I went to go eat at the cafeteria on campus, and somebody had nailed it to the wall, and I didn't have my glove anymore. It was the saddest thing I've ever experienced.
Well, couldn't you have just taken it off the wall and used it?
I had no way to prove that it was mine. They're not. It's a restaurant in the student union. How was I supposed to say that's my glove? Give me my glove.
But you at that point in time, even though you won a college national championship, you didn't have like initials.
Isn't that awful?
Or like marking your golf ball or something.
No. How sad, right?
Is it still there?
No. I don't know where it went.
You should have gone back and gotten
Such a sad
it.
story. Wah, wah.
Got her to swing through and a little hesitation there.
When you got to be heads up back there behind the dish. We're used to Kayla Kowalik back there, and now with new players back behind the plate, they cannot fall asleep, and that's something that has to be drilled into them. Even with a lead this late in the game, 1 out, you cannot fall asleep and allow runners to get in a scoring position that easily.
That's Hallie Mitchell wearing 00. Three-two count, 1 out. Here in the top of inning number 7. Wildcats holding a 4-0 lead over the Miami Redhawks. I don't think they're keeping pitch count tonight, but Vickers has thrown a lot of pitches here in his 7th inning appearance.
Yep, she has, but that's okay. At this time of the season, you want to get those reps in, but definitely needs to hone in on the zone, get some good spin through the zone, and not just throw to spot.
Got her that time. On the outside part of the plate. Perfect positioning. And the Wildcats are just 1 out away.
Well, a good pitcher has control of the 3 S's, speed, spot, and spin. And so far, Vickers on that pitch had all 3.
Vickers quickly ahead in the count. To Reagan Bartholomew. That ball is hit a lot to right field. Back to the track and gone. And so the Wildcat lead cut in half. Taylor Ebbs went back to get it. But Bartholomew goes deep with 2 outs in the 9th to keep the Redhawks alive.
Well, and that's a huge opposite field home run to be able to go outside and get that. Right now, there is no catcher standing out to Coach Kumar for Miami, but with a swing like that against a pitcher like Vickers, you know that that's going to set her apart. So with the catching responsibilities up for grabs, a great swing by Bartholomew. Not only does it cut the lead in half, but it puts an exclamation point at the end of the fall season for her.
Rachel Lawson going out for a quick word.
Now batting for Miami, number 12, Hadley Parisian.
And that brings up Haley Parisian. Takes a strike on the outside corner. So just the 3rd hit of the night for Miami. And it produces 2 runs. Slow roller to second. That's going to be a tough play. But it is made. Margaret Tobias makes it. And the Wildcats, after a little bit of a scare in the 9th, come away with a 4-2 win for Kentucky. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left 8 on base. For Miami, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They strand 4 runners. And I believe, if I'm right, that Stephanie Schoonover will get the decision tonight and get the win for the Wildcats. So, Jenny, your thoughts on what you saw? It's fall ball and everything. We all know that. But Your thoughts on what you saw?
I think Kentucky came in with something to prove and were able to step away with a very commanding beginning of this game. The pitching staff is settling in nicely. They've got some things to shore up, but Kentucky looking really good heading into this winter months to prepare for the spring. And Miami, with those big bats returning, it looks as though all they need to do is find the right pitches to swing on, and that power will come back.
Great to see you again, my friend. Won't be long before we'll be at it again. And not only was it a Wildcat win tonight, but what a great event it was as Kentucky knocks off Miami. For Jenny Dalton Hill, I'm Dave Baker saying so long from Big Blue Booze.